Okay,
A
so
little bit closer.
this is a new series, Tales of the Touge. Kind of a cheesy name, but we'll roll with it for now until I come up with a better one. So we're gonna do some car reviews of real drivers and real cars, people that actually drive the cars, unlike some of these fake YouTubers that have their cars sit in the garage. But I'm here today with Vince. Vincent, do you like Vince?
Vincent.
Okay, sweet.
Yep.
And he's gonna be talking about his AP1 S2000 and some of the mods he has and his driving experience. Maybe even share some driving tips because I know you're a good track driver.
Well, still learning.
Still learning. You set a pretty good lap time. I saw that.
Like 1 minute 53, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like from. So I've been tracked this car since 2 years ago.
Yep.
Still learning.
We'll start off with your driving experience, maybe some other cars you've had in the past, and kind of what made you go into the, S2000 world.
The first car that I have is a Mercedes CLA 250 when I was 18.
What made you get that?
So that was like 10 years ago. Actually, my family sponsored me to get that car.
Okay.
Because every kid's want a Mercedes.
Yeah.
And that car is coming strictly in 2013, I believe.
Okay.
So that's the new generation.
Yep.
So I really love the style. It's a coupe, it's a 4-door, and it's
Very
Mercedes.
classy cars. Probably a good cruising car. Comfortable.
It is.
Yep.
And it is cheap.
Yep.
It's from 29K, I think.
Okay.
It's super cheap Mercedes. You just want to feel when you're sitting in the electric car, cruise. When you have your friend get a road trip.
Everyone has to have the comfortable cruiser, and then they got to have the aggressive track car, right?
For
I
sure.
mean, you got to have that Jekyll and Hyde kind of like, yin and yang kind of thing going on. So
Yeah, that's true. So back the year when I have the Mercedes, the CLA 250, I don't even know how to drive the car. I don't have any skills. I just love the Mercedes. I just love the car.
yeah.
And then I realized, okay, so there's so many cars in the world. There's a JDM, there's a Beamer,
Yep.
there's a AMG and M-Power Audi RS. So, because I'm from China originally.
Yeah.
So we've been watching Initial D all time.
So what is the car culture like there? Because I'm curious if there is any,
Well, honestly, there's so many regulations in China because the exhaust,
Yeah.
wheels,
Yep.
engines.
So basically everything has to be stock, pretty much, right? Or close to stock, or approved modifications.
Yeah,
like
it has to
Germany.
be approved.
Okay.
Just like a Europe.
Sure.
Yeah. It's like safety purpose.
Yep.
So they all believe the OEM manufacturer, they're the best.
Okay.
And they're qualified for the safety issues. For someone else, you just like modify your car by yourself. It doesn't pass any, safety check.
Sure.
Yeah.
Because the coolest thing I've seen come out of China was that Ken Block video. I'm sure you've seen it.
Yeah.
Running up that crazy mountain.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure they had to pull all kinds of strings with the government to try and get that approved, because there's tourist buses going up and down that thing all day long, and just like trying to shut that thing down for the day, or I think it was like 2 days for filming.
Yeah.
That must have been insane.
So I would say that's for the safety purpose
Right.
from the government side.
Okay.
But car modification, this is a big market for every country.
Right.
So we're still working on that.
Okay.
It will be illegal soon.
Do you want to go into some more of the background of your driving experience, how you progress from, basically getting a daily driver to this crazy thing now?
Okay, so I'm going to talk about my first JDM car. That's a Miata NA.
Okay.
So I have
all
a
right.
1990 Miata NA. It's a red color, which is a very classic one.
Okay.
And I don't even know how to drive the manual car before I get that car.
Okay.
I love it.
We're gonna have to get a couple Miatas on this channel to review.
Yeah.
Because I really want to compare, the spicy Miata they call S2000 compared to a Miata itself. Because I know out here in the canyons, they keep up with a lot of like faster cars that, punch above their weight class. So I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see.
Yeah. So after that, I feel like rear-wheel drive, manual car, convertible, that's all man's dream.
Yeah.
So that's why I choose the Miata NA. And
It's
that's
the
all.
experience. It's the
It is the
driving
experience.
experience. Man, so I drove my buddy's S2000 for the first time out here at Tortilla because I'm like, everyone's like, get an S2000, S2000. I'm like, I don't really like convertibles, but man, when I had the top down and you have the exhaust note just roaring off the canyon walls, it's just like there's nothing like it. And
Yeah,
you feel like more connected with the outdoors when your top's down too.
definitely,
It's a whole thing. It's a
definitely.
vibe.
So unfortunately, there's just so many issues on my Miata.
Yep.
There is a leaking from anywhere.
Yep.
So I couldn't afford that during that time. So
Sure.
then I sold my Miata, and after a couple of years, when I have some money, so the S2000 doesn't. It was not that crazy. So like I only paid for I think 16 grand to purchase my first S2000, which
Yeah.
is right here. So the yellow one.
It's not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad, and that's a AP1, and
Yeah.
you have 9,000 RPM, which is insane.
Is it what inspired you to get the car? Because I know there's just so many, kind of two-seater convertible sports cars out there. I mean, what made you land on the
So
S2000
like a
specifically?
Boxster.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I guess there's not
So
many. If you really think about it, there's not many cars that compare to this or a Miata.
so it probably just my personal habits. I want to research something before I'm making the decision.
Sure.
So S2000, we call driver's car, and you can tell from the initial D. Everyone watching that.
Yeah.
So only the true man can drive the rear-wheel drive, and that's manual. And also you have 9,000 RPM. So that's the thing. You
And
want to,
driving rear-wheel drive at its limit, especially when you have a lot of torque too to manage. Sometimes it's a handful.
yeah, it is. And also this car doesn't have any electronic system,
Right.
like body control, whatever, something like that. Only have ABS on it. So everything based on your driving experience.
It's like good luck.
Good luck. Yeah. If you feel like you're gonna turn in, you will.
Yeah. So I guess you could say to sum that up, it's not really for a newbie coming into track driving or canyon driving. It's probably not the greatest car to learn with if you're brand new to it.
Yeah, I don't really recommend any new driver
Yeah.
choosing the S2000 as their like first car.
Yeah.
So this car, you really has to be prepared.
It's you're almost on like a razor edge, especially at the track. I mean, you're just balancing the car mid corner because sometimes the rear wants to break out, sometimes the front wants to wash out, and you're just kind of like you're almost like a ballerina, just tippy toeing, just like right on the edge. And if you get a little bit too crazy, you gotta like immediately correct it because these cars, as soon as they lose something, it just immediately you have to be on it, like cat-like
Yep.
reflexes.
Yep, right away. So
Yep.
that's why I have my bucket seat on the car. So the bucket seat will connect your body like it's a hard connect.
Yep.
So you'll feel the body roll like immediately in the second.
Yeah.
And then you can do any reflection on your steering wheel.
Yep.
So if you feel you're losing something grips on the rear, you can start to correct your steering on the corner, whatever is on the corner or exit. So you know right away.
If you're, let's say, if you had, the same amount of money and same mods and everything, would you choose a different platform or would you choose the S2000 still?
At this time,
In-
no, I would choose S2000, no doubt.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. Because
I
this,
feel like I already knew the answer to that, but
Yeah.
for the viewers.
yeah, because I have this car over 4 years.
Yeah.
So
That's actually a long time. Yeah.
it is. So I want to say I start track this car 2 years ago.
Okay. So
'Cause
you've already had experience with the chassis and then eventually you tracked it. So
Yep.
yeah,
'cause
that's probably the best move.
Yep. So I was drove this car in the canyon for the first 2 years, just trying to understand how should I drive this car
Yeah.
and trying to feel the limit. But I mean, I don't recommend you feel the limits on the mountain because it's so dangerous. But
Yeah.
you really have to feel the turning and the body roll
Right.
and also the gears. So it has to be a perfect match on the each corner.
Yep.
And also feel the power because this car only have a 240 on the crank.
Yep.
It is AP1, and only after 6,000 RPM, after the VTEC kicking, you feel some power.
Yeah. you really have to, I mean, you have to work to get the power out of these cars. You always have to be in VTEC. If you drop out of VTEC and you're like trying to, battle somebody, it's all over. So
Yeah.
you got to always be in the right gear. You always have to rev match, downshift, upshift. You always make sure you're in that sweet spot of the power band. Because these make great power up top, but it almost feels like a Prius or some kind of average
That's
car before you
yeah.
hit VTEC. Like 2 or 3 RPM, just cruising around is
Because
rough.
that's NA.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't really feel any power lower than
Yeah.
5,000 RPM. I would say that. Yeah.
Let's get into like bumper to bumper all the mods you've done, and actually to start with, how much like money over the years? I know you've had the car for a long time, but
Yeah.
if you were to sum it up, how much money do you think you have in the car just mod wise?
Well, that's a lot actually.
Because I know S2000 parts can pull a premium these days.
Yeah.
You get like basic OEM parts, and they're like, you just look at a Civic versus this, it's just crazy. Double,
It is
triple
crazy.
the price
Yeah. So, but I still have to say, Honda parts is cheap
compared to other
compared
platforms.
compared to like the European car,
Yeah.
like Beamer or AMGs. But still, this car needs a lot of work.
Yeah.
So when I just got this car, you can't imagine that all the rubber is still good.
Yeah.
So you have to change all your bushings, right? And your the rust part, and maybe your seats if you're ready to the track, right? So I would say about
Like how long did you have the car before you started modifying, or did you immediately say, "Oh,
I just immediately changed. I just
you just
immediately
started
changed
going for
my
it?
all bushings.
Yeah.
You feel like the vibration.
Yeah.
Yeah, on the freeway. So I know it's like, don't tell anyone I'm driving like over 90, but you do. But you
Yeah.
do feel the vibration. So the first time I checked the wheel balance, it's not.
Yep.
So I have the new tire, I have the new wheels on it. It's not the wheel balance. So what else? It's gonna be rubbers.
Yep.
So I just changed all the bushings immediately. So all the front, on the rear, and also tie rod, just like everything, and this suspension as well.
Yeah. Okay, so what do you have done suspension wise?
So I have the Tane Flex Z on the first time.
Okay.
So that's the first suspension because I was really budget on during the time.
And how was that?
Bumpy. It is bumpy.
So when you hit a bump, right? Was it the rebound that was a problem, or was just like just keep oscillating after you hit a bump, or
So the rebound is too fast.
okay?
It doesn't matter how many clicks you choose.
So those are adjustable, because I know with some coilovers there is adjustment, or they say there's 32-way adjustment, and I feel like the knob sometimes just doesn't do anything on some of the coilovers.
Yeah, it just doesn't do the work.
Yeah.
So that's why I choose the HKS.
Okay.
So because this is a JDM car, I like to have all the Japanese brand on it.
Yeah. Makes
Right?
sense.
Yeah.
Got to be pure, right?
Yeah, people recommend me the
Purity.
Olins. Yeah. People recommend me the Olins.
Yeah.
I said, no, I don't want to go any Europe brand. So I want to go Japanese brand.
Okay.
So I choose the HKS. And that is really affordable, around like 2 grand, something like that.
Okay.
And it doesn't like the Olins, you have to do the preload on your own. So it comes straightly one shot with the spring on it.
Okay.
So after you install the suspension, you can just like change your height, do the ribbon on the top, simple, easy.
So does that have like high and low speed bump compression
No.
settings, or is it just basic?
Just basic.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but the benefits on the HKS, so the front and the rear spring rate are 16K.
Okay.
It's higher than the Olins. So I guess Olins is like 10 on the front and 8 on the rear. Because I like stiffer car.
Right.
So I
yeah,
like.
So do I.
Yeah, I like to feel.
Because you feel more. It communicates to the chassis more, and it communicates to the driver. If you're at the limit. Better.
Right. Right.
Just,
But also at the same time, you want to compare your rebound rate.
Right.
So that's all based on the calculation.
Yeah, it's like you can go stiffer with the spring rate, but can the shock match to handle it?
Right.
Because you can go crazy high spring rate, but if the shock can dampen that crazy of a spring rate, feels exactly like a lower spring rate. It's just you've upped everything pretty much.
Right. Also your sway bar. Yeah. So on the AP1 and the front and the rear,
So I know that's
yeah,
a touchy subject with these.
yeah, those are
So
weird.
the first year, right, the '01 had the beefiest rear sway bar, and those were the most dangerous, right?
Right.
Because people would have snap oversteer. '02 I think got a little bit softer, and then '03 I feel like went back up a tiny bit.
Right.
So I feel like '03 was almost the sweet spot, and that's the year you have, right? And that's
Right.
the year I have too.
Yep. And the OEM doesn't give you many choice to do an adjustment.
Yep.
So that's why we choose the aftermarket one. So you can also do the like stiffer or do the softer on the front and the rear. So you want to compare. So you want to do the balance on the front and the rear.
Right.
And also same thing like the rebound ratio on our suspension. So this car, the benefit for this car is a 50-50, but this is a real wheel drive, man.
Right.
So you want to do something different when you're on the track. So stiff on the front, softer on the rear. You have more grip when you're on the turning.
Yep.
So it's more safer. I will say safer. Like some people say like, are you a really professional driver? Not everyone are professional, but we want to be safe.
Oh yeah,
So that's
it's
a
really
priority.
the setup. You know, if you have a lot of grip in the car, you're just increasing that safety buffer.
Right.
It's not like you could turn a faster lap all necessarily. It's you have that buffer where you're not bouncing on the edge of grip. You just have a higher grip threshold. So
And also it helps you to reach the limit.
yep.
So when you're on the track, you really want to feel your body roll, like I said.
Right.
So where's the limit? Can I just go like 2 miles per hour more faster? Yeah, you can.
Mm-hmm.
As far as you feel that's the limit.
How about tires and brakes, and because I see you got the spoon rotors, the baller spoon rotors. I wanted to ask about those.
Oh yeah, the spoon calipers.
Yep.
Yeah. So actually, I tried several brand tires
Okay.
because, as you know, I'm track.
Yep.
So I tried a RE71R on the first time. Those are like insane. Those are great 200 travel tires.
Okay.
So after they're discontinued, I was going to choose the Needle NT01. So I think those are 100 something. But
And
those are
that's
like,
more of like older technology too, right?
yeah, those are older
Those came
technology.
out almost probably like 15 years ago
Yeah,
now.
over 10 years
So I
for
feel like
sure.
there's a lot more, 100 treadwear updated kind of technology.
It just like seemed like Toyo R888R. There was like old technology.
Yeah.
Yeah. So last year I just purchased the RE71RS, the newer one.
Okay.
So those are great. So people recommend me the Yokohama A052.
Yep.
But I feel those are like soft, a little bit soft, because I have those tires on my Mercedes.
Okay.
So I track my Mercedes only like 1 or 2 times.
Interesting.
Yeah, yeah. So I like to feel different between each car, because that car. So I have a AMG 45. Can you imagine that? That's a 4-wheel drive. This is not real wheel drive.
That's a lot different than this.
Yeah, it's totally different. But based on the tire, I feel Yokohama is like a little bit soft.
Okay.
I want a strong sidewall on the S2000 because you don't want to lose your control.
Right.
So
And
you wanna-
again, it comes back to the road feel and communicating through the chassis.
Right.
If you have a stiff sidewall on a tire, you can feel that through the steering wheel better. If you're right on the edge of grip or you're starting to wash the front out, you can feel it. So
Yep, that's true. And also, I choose the spoon caliper,
Yep.
big brick kits. Well, it doesn't come to a kit, but it only comes to caliper. So the only thing I do the spoon is it's a spoon. Everyone knows that.
spoon is like
The
top
highest
tier.
and GS racing. So, but GS racing is so expensive, like around
Yeah.
like 4 or 5 grand.
I
for
feel
the
like
whole
they.
kits.
I feel like doesn't Jay's sort of like have a partnership with some of the spoon stuff in a way. Like I know.
Honestly, I don't know. I'm not sure, but I do think they share some business with Voltax.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they really have a similar GTVs.
Yep.
Yeah, and another benefit for the spoon is it fits OEM dimension rotors and
Okay.
brake pads, and save a lot of money, because you're going to track day. You want to be like fast and also save some money as well. And also, Geodisc, one of the brake company, the manufacturer in Seattle, I guess.
Yep.
So they offer two-piece brake, so which is good.
Yeah, because I know a lot of times the disc will warp, so you could just replace the disc and leave the hub section, right?
Right.
So, and it's a lot cheaper to replace them.
Yeah, I guess like around $400 for both rotor rings on the front.
Okay, it's not
Yeah,
bad.
it's not bad at all for the track option.
And they probably last a lot longer than OEM too.
Oh yeah, so they said I have for 6 track day,
Yeah.
and that brakes super hard.
So guys, it's worth getting a big brake kit. Well, I mean, technically, it's almost the same size as OEM, right? Just a little bit bigger, the spoon
Well,
brakes.
actually, it's the same dimension as the OEM, but it's
Yeah.
a two-piece vented.
Okay, yeah. So sometimes it's better to upgrade your rotors, pads, and calipers, and going with a bigger setup or more premium setup that has more expensive stuff in the long run, especially if you're going to run a lot of track days, because you're just going to end up saving money in the long run.
For sure.
But I would say like if you track your car like once a year or something, do you still think it's worth the upgrade?
Well, it's still worth it because the brake is the biggest thing on our car.
Yeah.
You don't want to go anything wrong with your brake.
Yeah.
Because that's a safety. That's the first top one.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, because I know, especially if you had power too, I gotta do something with my brake setup because I'm still on stock, setup with 400 horsepower now, double
Yeah.
the horsepower almost. So if you're coming in like hotter in the straightaways and carrying more speed and trying to brake deeper and deeper before that first corner, you're just gonna wear the brakes out and potentially crack a rotor. And I've seen really bad fractures of rotors where they just explode.
Right.
So it definitely is a safety concern.
Yeah, overheated, especially we are in Arizona.
How do you feel about those little stickers they put on the side of the caliper to gauge like the temperature? Did you ever see those things? Or
Yeah, I do
bringing like
actually.
a temp gun with you? Or
Yeah, I actually I have the temp gun.
oh,
So
okay.
every time after the section, I always like want to see the temperature.
Yep.
But it just gives you the idea how much you push on the brake.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't change anything too much. As far as you have the two-piece rotor, you have the one thing I have to mention that racing brake fluid.
Yeah.
So you always want to go to like
Like a
RB,
Motul.
RBF
Yeah. Yep.
660 or I have a RBF 700
Yeah.
actually. It's the newest one.
That's what a lot of people overlook. That they'll have couple year old brake fluid, and they'll upgrade everything else in their brakes, and they'll do one lap at the track and boil their fluid because a lot of people don't know this, but brake fluid over time gets more acidic and it actually collects water. It draws like water into it, and the more water content you have in the system, the easier it's gonna boil. The
Right.
boiling point just goes down. So
Yeah, you don't want your brake fluid burning out.
yep.
Yep.
As far as like aero stuff, I see you have like a CR lip. Is that real CR lip or?
Oh no, actually, I got
Oh.
from eBay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean it still looks cool, right?
Well, yeah.
So does that actually provide any downforce in the front? You think or?
Well, actually, I do think it provides some downforce.
Okay.
So I have the OEM AP2 bumper.
Yep.
I ordered from dealer. It's not from anyone else. But just want to matching the CR lips.
Okay.
So you can tell actually there's like several angle on the each side.
Yeah.
It does provide some downforce when you really hit on the
Yeah,
hard
it's
brake on
almost
the
got
corner.
like dive planes on the side. Yeah.
Yeah, but actually I just ordered a 3-inch front lips, so get a more downforce on the front. Cause I do feel sometimes I have like understeering on the
Yep.
corner. Cause
That's exactly what I did on my car. So I have probably
you have a Voltax, man.
that, and I have a huge diffuser underneath. So basically, the splitter goes from 3 inches past the Voltex bumper, which is kind of crazy because the Voltex already extends
Right.
way past OEM, and then it's basically flat bottom all the way pretty much to the middle of the motor.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a lot of downforce or reduction of low pressure zone on the going through the bottom of the car. And I'm not like a aerodynamic expert, but I know a flat bottom works.
Yeah, but if once you have it, you feel right away actually.
Oh yeah.
So when I just start my track experience, I don't have the hard top, I don't have the wing on the back. So every time on the straight line trying to do the late brake,
Yep.
I feel my rear is lifted up a little bit.
Okay.
and you can tell your ABS kicking really earlier, actually.
Wow.
So I just Google it and like research asking people around who has more experience than me in the track day. So they tell me like aerodynamic, that's the first thing you have to go. So at least you have the hardtop and the wing on the back.
Right.
It gives you like much downforce when you do the hard brake. So that's why I got mine. And after I installed the hardtop and the wings, I'm like
Makes a huge
three
difference.
3 seconds faster. Same setup.
You have to be careful though too, because a lot of people will go overkill with either a wing or front splitter. That just can upset the balance of the car
Right.
too. So I don't think we have any wind tunnels accessible in Arizona that I know of really, unless you pay like crazy amount of money.
No.
But I know there's one that's fairly cheap on the East Coast, and a lot of people will go there if they're racing on the East Coast. But yeah, if we had wind tunnel, that would really help immensely with the balance of the car and how much downforce you're actually making front and rear. Because your car, you drive it into the wind tunnel and it's got scales on each corner.
Right.
So as the wind comes through, presses down or lifts the car, and then you know how much lift you have.
Yeah, that's require like a whole bunch of work for your aerodynamic kit.
Yeah.
You want to have the front lips, ender tree, diffuser, hot top, and wings. That costs a lot of money, man.
Yeah. And what I do for aero personally, I'll copy someone else's homework.
Right.
Because if someone else has done, extensive work in a, wind tunnel or something, or there's some crazy computer modeling that they've done with different components that all work together, I just, what are they doing over here? Copy their homework, do the same exact thing, and that's what works. You don't try to reinvent the wheel with Aero, because it just,
So much work.
yeah,
Yeah.
it really
It costs
is.
a lot of money.
Yep.
Yeah. And you want to choose like a big brand because they already tested.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
And that's why it's like a lot of people go with these knockoff brand things, but they don't realize that, like, let's say like a genuine Voltex or something,
Yeah.
they don't realize something could be a little bit off from
Like
when they did the
yeah.
modeling on a replica, and that can completely change the characteristics of what you're trying to do.
Yeah, like some like universal fit.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
Yep.
So at least you want to choose something like for your car specific, like specific for S2000 or specific for your FD.
These cars go for a lot of money these days.
Right.
It's a lot of money. Even so, AP1, you're probably looking at 15 to 25,000 for, like, depending on how clean you want it. You could probably get a cheap one for maybe 12.
Right
That's
now,
like a total shit box.
right now, at least I would say like 20.
Yeah.
For,
So if you're looking at a clean AP1, probably 20. That's pretty much what I paid for mine. I think mine was 18, but the paint is kind of crap on it. Didn't really care about that. AP2, we'll get into that in a little bit, but AP2 starts at probably what, 25,000 up to 30-ish. Those
yeah,
are just
they're a little bit more expensive.
yeah.
Yeah, but if you want a 9,000 RPM, go AP1. And O3 is the best year, and because O3 they improve a lot. They have the glass convertible on the back,
Yep.
and they also fix some oil pan issues.
Okay.
Uh,
Oh, they got the oil squirters
the
and
oil
the
squirts.
pistons.
Yep. Oh, I just realized O3 has a better ECU model than the previous.
Because I know when I was tuning my AP1 before I went to the link, I realized that the air intake temp sensor that sits on top of the manifold gets heat soaked, and they actually moved it on the AP2 into the intake manifold, like higher up.
Right.
So that heat soaks, and that reads a much higher temperature than the air that's actually coming in, and it's a false reading. So as that temperature goes up, the ECU pulls timing, and you have probably 20 less horsepower,
Right.
which
yeah.
is a lot on something like this. So a lot of people actually do a mod where they relocate the IET, but it's just specifics.
Yeah, I want to keep my S2000 stock power.
Yeah.
Just because Honda, they manufacture it, right?
It works.
They spent
put a ton of R&D into this car and made a lot
$1
of
million.
them. And, yeah.
Right. Can you imagine someone else like smarter than them? And like they spent that much money during 90s.
Yep.
And the car's still running perfect at 2023.
Yeah.
Like over 20 years.
I really think this and the NSX, because the same, I think the same
Same
dude
generation.
designed it,
Yeah.
both cars. Just that was the passion project of Honda. Like they put
even
so
JDM.
much heart and soul into building that thing. Cars these days are just soulless. You don't get any of that. It's just electronics, and it just doesn't have that passion behind it. These engineers are like, I feel like the engineers that build them aren't really into the car. Like, this is going to be kind of crap at the end of the day because of the new regulations with, EPA and all that. But
Right. Because that's a driver's car.
yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
They did a great job.
9,000 RPM.
Yeah.
Always have to mention that.
What other cars from the factory did that? Not many.
Not many, actually. So
It was like the Beams motor, Toyota Beams, like later generation.
later
maybe.
generation, yeah.
But that was only 8K, I want to say.
That's a 85.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think most vehicle hit on the 9,000, they're like supercars.
Yeah.
They're like Ferrari. They're
And
like
just think,
Porsche.
it's hitting 9,000 RPMs reliably. Reliably is the key word.
Yeah.
Reliably.
Yeah. I hit 9,000 all the time, actually. Yeah. Oh, so AP1, you have to change your retainer and the springs, actually.
Yep.
So those are like a little bit thinner than the AP2. So you want to choose the either titanium or go to the AP2 one. So just in case, because you want to run 9,000 RPM all day.
Yep.
Trust me. Yeah. Even you say like, I don't want to go 9,000 RPM to hurt my motor.
Yeah.
You want to, you will.
All right, so I think now we're just gonna do like a quick, closer walk around of the car. I know you guys saw some opening shots, just real quick as the title, but we're just gonna do a quick walk around. Do you have anything in the engine bay we should look at, or just all stock? All right, maybe you'll surprise me.
Yep.
Interior. All right, let's take a peek.
Definitely you want a red Honda logo for sure, because that's the key.
Makes you extra fast, right?
Right. So, actually, Honda engineer, they're like smart, they're genius. They're making pretty good engine and everything on this car. But still, because we are in Arizona, I still recommend to do the intercooler, because the bigger intercooler definitely give you more airflow and cooling down your motor for sure. So the only reason I keep the OEM stock airbox, because I did a lot of research for this. The KN, and there's a AFE, and all those after the dyno, they're losing like maybe 1 or 2 horsepower on the wheels. So
isn't there that giant spoon one, or no, Jay's Racing, that giant?
Those are just super expensive.
Yeah.
Those are like around 1,500, I think. Yeah.
Those do gain horsepower, but you're spending a crazy amount of money for like a couple of horsepower. It's not even worth it. And
after you have the GS Racing intake, you have to order their like straw bar as well, because they're bigger. And then I have a Tanabe straw bar. I don't think they make something different, but I just want to match the color with my head cover. Everything else, actually, I like to keep as stock. Oh, I have the sense of speed throttle body. So it's just a little bit better than the OEM. It gives you like more airflow when you have the intake.
Okay. Better throttle response too, probably.
Right. Yeah, definitely. You can feel it directly, actually. This the Mugen oil cap right there. All the cool
bling
stuff.
piece.
Yep.
Okay, you did the K20 coil packs too. It looks like.
No.
Those are
stock.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought those were the K series ones. Maybe not.
No.
The Denso ones.
Actually,
okay.
I just took off the cover off. The spark plug cover. Oh, I also have the spoon, the radiator hose. Spoon. Don't ask me why. They're spoon.
Because bling parts. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Let's look at the wheel and tire setup. Hopefully I can see the brakes more. Yep. There we go.
You can tell it doesn't have any slot right here anymore.
Oh yeah, it's pretty worn down. So.
Yeah. After 6 track day.
Yeah, which isn't bad. I mean, that's a lot of track time on a brake setup. So.
Right. And it doesn't use too much on the rear, so I keep like stock calipers, stock size rotors.
Yeah. Any cool interior pieces you want to talk about, or?
It's just like bread bucket seat.
Yeah.
Actually, just look it up here.
Oh, those are nice. Yeah, holds you in pretty decent.
Yeah. And steering wheels.
And then you got OEM hardtop, right? Black hardtop.
Style.
Yep.
Which is like crazy.
Yeah.
The hardtop gonna cost you like around 7 grand, and I ordered those pieces from local manufacturer because this 3D design, the plate, just for like a better balance, you know,
Yeah.
give you more like more stable actually. And this is my second trunk. I still have my OEM trunk. I just don't wanna like get another hole on it, you know.
Yeah, because I know the trunks like to bend.
And those wheels actually from overseas, AP1 Racing RZ2. So I have a 17 by 9 and 63 offset, which is super weird. I mean, I don't know why. Probably that's the only vehicle for like 63 offset.
Yeah, that is interesting.
Yeah, because I don't really want to roll my fender because, you know, I can't believe like this is 20-year car.
Yeah. So what size tires are you running then?
255 40 17.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm currently running the Stagger. So the front is a 225 45 17. But I have one set square on the way actually. It also comes from AP1 Racing.
Yeah, because I
RGs.
think I'm 245 square right now.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, just because CR has a 255.
All right. Still got the AP1 taillights, I see. I know there's a lot of controversy about that because people actually switch between the AP2 taillights. So these are a little bit different in LED, and they got this kind of ring around them.
Actually, I have an AP2 bumper front and the rear.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, can tell.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because
yeah, you do.
the AP1 has a little black diffuser on the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have the AP2 version.
Okay.
It just looked better, so I call like AP1 Plus, maybe AP1.5.
Makes sense.
Yeah, because I just have the CR lip, CR style. I mean,
Yeah.
the front and rear AP2 bumper.
I think that's probably the point where we should go for a quick drive.
Yeah, we can.
What do you think?
Yeah.
We're not gonna do anything too crazy in these episodes, but I really want the driver, the owner of the car, to drive because they know their car the best and can really extract the most out of it. So even though I own an S2000 too, I just don't want to be going crazy with someone else's car either. So
For sure, you don't want to be the owner.
Yeah. So with this series, there's definitely going to be times where I'm going to be driving, or maybe that driver doesn't feel comfortable in this really capable car, or vice versa. So you'll see kind of a swap of drivers here. But we're going to see how this goes lighting-wise. It's going to be interesting because I don't want to distract the driver with lights, but I also want to be able to kind of see us while we're talking. So we are in the car. This is a pretty crazy camera setup. We got multiple cameras, so we'll see how it does. But I'm gonna go for a little bit of a drive to get some impressions. Man, this car feels really stiff.
Yeah, it is.
That's crazy.
16K sprint rate.
Oh, I feel it. I like it though. Heck yeah. This thing feels so good. Very solid.
After the VTEC kick in, right?
Yep.
Can't go too fast.
Yeah. We'll try to get some out-of-car video too. Just strap that GoPro maybe to the outside or something. That it feels so planted, like there's no drama, there's no nothing. It just does point it and go.
Pretty stiff, right?
Yeah, yeah. It's a good stiff, not a bouncy stiff.
Right. It's not bumpy, actually.
No, it's not bad. Yeah, this section of the road is pretty decent.
So when you drive S2000, you want your steering very smooth.
Yep.
Don't go like super crazy.
And the steering racks are very fast in these. Like
Right.
if you come from a different chassis, the steering is just so quick. Like lock to lock, I think it's like maybe 2 turns, 2.5 turns, and most cars are like 3 or 4 turns lock to lock. So just that steering ratio is just nuts. But that's kind of like why these cars feel twitchy, and especially people that aren't used to them.
All the way to 8.
Good power though, like it's really, it does not feel like 240 horsepower, and it's a hot night too, so it's gonna be down on power and it still feels good. So
Right. And after the VTEC kick in, so the throttle comes very straightly.
Yep.
Because your engine speed is gonna carry your speed.
Right.
If you do like little small turn.
I'd say you're a pretty good driver for coming out here at night, not knowing the road that well.
Yeah.
Still hucking it. So I commend you for that.
It's a muscle memory, man.
Yeah, yeah. Because I have a lot of like new people that come out here that chase us, and they end up like either crashing or going off because they don't realize that we're so used to the road out here.
Right. And then you can't pass in the middle line.
Yeah.
Get a company.
There are people that come out here super late and run the whole road, but I don't trust it.
Right.
For all you Touge people out there, don't double lane. I don't like it.
Don't double line.
It takes more skill to stay in a single lane than it takes double. You take that to the bank.
At least you 100% know there's nothing over there.
Right, right. Man, I'm gonna have to do bushings in my car after I feel this.
Right? It feels pretty stable.
Yeah.
Even you have a 16K sprint rate,
Yep.
so the bump doesn't like a bumpy.
Yeah, feels good. Those spoon brakes, putting those babies to work. Man, this car stops fast.
It is. Actually, every time I'm trying to do the brake, I just little bit, maybe just 10%, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, on the canyon, because I don't drive fast.
Yep. That was a pretty good speed. That was a good pace. I like that.
Yeah.
Nothing too crazy.
But this car still, you can't run daily, because the bucket seat gonna hurt your back.
Yeah. And, man, these seats are pretty comfortable though. I have a crappy NRG seat in my E36 and I hate it.
Actually, I probably go Recaro after this year.
Yep.
Because I feel like those are more comfortable.
Yeah.
Official?
Yeah.
Like this?
All right. Well, thanks for joining us, guys, on this nice Friday night. And hopefully you learned a lot about S2000s and a little bit of driving. We got pretty technical there, I would say. So
Yeah.
it was pretty cool. Any final words or Because I know we're gonna try to. We were talking off camera, and we're gonna try to maybe do another video like this, but on the track and just compare. Because I know we can't go crazy out here in the canyons, but
Right.
and we're in Mexico, of course, or your mom's backyard.
Yeah.
So
Definitely it's not in US.
yeah, we're at your mom's house. But yeah, we're gonna try to maybe do another similar video like this at the track, and then should be good. But anyone new to canyon driving, stay safe out there and get some wheel time and practice and ease into it, and you'll be a great driver. Just
And
like
don't
Vince over
cross the
here.
line.
Yeah, and don't cross the double yellow. His car is yellow, but he doesn't cross the double yellow. All right, guys. Well, thanks for joining us on this episode. See you guys later.
I see you show.